11 to 3. Plus live music Wednesdays and Saturdays starting at 5:30. El Rodeo, Tequila, Bar and Grill, Thomas Drive across from the Navy base. And 10908 Front Beach Road.
No one wants to deal with a plumbing, electrical, or HVAC emergency. It's even worse when you're not sure what it'll cost, when it'll get fixed, or if someone's just selling you something. When you call Hiller, you can trust our experts to actually solve your home's problems quickly. And with true transparency pricing, you know the price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. Book online now at happyhiller.com. Happy you'll be, or the service is free.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
The big wins feel even bigger, and the moments are still larger than life because your Atlanta Braves are still battling every single night.
Swung on the fly ball, hit well, back to the wall. This one flies away.
Tonight, you won't want to miss a minute of Atlanta Braves baseball from Truist Park in Atlanta as the Braves face the Washington Nationals.
Braves taking on the Nationals. Pregame 6 o'clock. First pitch 6:15. Your home for the Braves on the Gulf Coast. ESPN Northwest Florida.
College Football Saturday on ESPN Radio.
This is the best afternoon.
Sixth-ranked Oregon travels to Happy Valley to face number 3 Penn State in the whiteout game.
We've played in good environments before. They
Cover starts Saturday at 6 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota. ESPN Northwest Florida. And now, the Gulf Coast's newest sports talk host.
Hey, there's the new guy.
Paul Wilson.
This is a problem for Alabama.
Paul is your pipeline to the heart of the action.
That is not winning football.
Hot takes, big reactions, and your calls are incoming.
Billy Napier's play calling sucks. He's a terrible head coach.
The Sports Blitz.
I'm blown away how bad Florida is. As a Seminole fan, I'm enjoying it.
You better be able to run the football against Georgia or you're going to be finding yourself in a big, big, big hole.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
You know what time it is. It's 4 o'clock on the Tuesday. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're pumped up. We're excited. This is a great day. It's beautiful outside. And we are ready to talk about all of the stuff that's been going on in the media and on the field. So, as always, on Tuesdays, Jeff. How you doing, Jeffrey?
It's Taco Tuesday.
It is Taco Tuesday. You're wearing a Louisiana Cajun Spice hot sauce, Devil's Delight hot sauce.
It doesn't exist.
Oh, it's gone?
No. It's just one of those mock shirts, you know.
Oh, okay.
So it's not really a thing, but, it's pretty cool.
Have you ever had any real hot sauce? Like, are you one of those type of people that'll do the hot sauce deal or, try it?
And I think it's kind of cool. It's kind of an eclectic thing. You ever go in these restaurants and have a wall of flame?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't go around like trying them and all that. No.
Yeah. My son works at Buffalo Wild Wings up in Kentucky as his little side job while he's going to college.
In Lexington?
In Lexington. Okay. And they've got that. They've got the hot wings or whatever, and it's like, who can eat the most or who in the most time or in the least amount of time or something like that. So I've never been one of those. I don't know. I mean, I can eat hot stuff, but I'm not trying to like burn my mouth.
Yeah, and the whole wings thing. Some people are really into that wing stuff. And I'll do like, garlic parmesan or honey, whatever, honey barbecue. Yeah, that's definitely two things that I'll do. But the hot stuff, yeah, people are big into that stuff.
Well, if you remember, they did the chip. Like, it was like $45 for this chip, and you would eat that chip, and it would be like so hot, like you couldn't hardly handle it. And the chip would come in like a casket box. It's so hot.
It just reminded me of Shaquille O'Neal. Did you ever see that video where he eats like a hot chip and he eats another hot chip and he's like, oh, this ain't nothing. And then like he's about to cry. He's like, water. And I don't want to leave my man out in the glass booth wearing my favorite drink shirt. Bone Crusher, how you doing, Bone Crusher?
All right. Speaking of food, I'm starting the keto diet tonight. I'm going to eat nothing but pork chops and cream cheese. I'm a bit of a health nut.
Sounds like it. So, Bone Crusher, are you one of those types that will eat the hot sauce or try the hot thing? Are you the crazy friend that goes and eats and drinks anything that they put in front of you?
I thought I was until I met the habanero wing. That wrecked me. I couldn't finish that. That was tough.
Yeah. Well, I've had it before where it burns all the way going down, and then when it gets to your stomach, it's even hot. It feels like it's eating the inside of your lining of your stomach.
So let me ask you a question, because this kind of interests me a little bit. I moved here 2 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. And you're from Alabama.
Yeah.
And I don't know, different parts of Alabama is different and all that. But there's less fried chicken here than there is in New Orleans. Is it like that? Do you find that here as opposed to like Alabama?
Like at restaurants?
At restaurants, yeah.
Yeah.
Or ones that just specifically are all just about that.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. My dad, I've told you, he's 6'4", 250, 260, big guy.
Yeah.
He loves chicken. And he's just a chicken, not the chicken like boneless chicken or chicken tenders. Mm-hmm. And he'll eat those. Obviously, he doesn't he didn't push the plate back at all. But anyway, he likes bone-in chicken. Yeah. Like, he's always like, you want to go get a box of chicken? I'm like, nah, not really. Nobody here eats it. My family, they don't.
It's wild.
My kids and stuff, they don't really eat it.
I know we're in the South, and we have a lot of people that have moved here from all different parts of the South, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, Kentucky, and everything. But I don't know what it is. It's like it's just not a big thing here.
Yeah, no, you can't really. I think there's a couple of restaurants that you can go to. I think I don't want to name them because they don't sponsor the show.
Yeah, they need to advertise with us.
If they want to sponsor the show, we'll throw in all of your menus.
And I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I'm a foodie.
I couldn't tell.
I love to eat, man. Oh, my God. And being from Louisiana, I worked in restaurants. I was a restaurant manager for a long time. And so, I'm big on eating.
Yeah, so, I've seen it on the menu a couple of places. Mm-hmm. And but that's it. You're exactly right. There's not a lot of people that fry chicken just at a restaurant that you can order fried chicken. And so I guess, you can go to KFC, Popeyes, all those places.
Yeah, that's a fast food place. I'm talking more like sit down type places.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, only place you can find fried chicken is those, fast food places. So realistically, now Bone Crusher, you like fried chicken? Like,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, fried chicken's kind of like it's its own little deal. Like, it's a lot of prep work as far as like if you're going to do it at home. Like, you can just throw stuff on the grill, throw a steak on the grill.
Yeah, we don't make a lot of fried chicken at the house usually.
Yeah.
I need to get back to that.
Yeah, so, well, why don't you bring some in and we'll eat it? Jeff likes fried chicken, so there you go.
I don't know if my culinary skills would be good enough for Jeff.
Yeah, he does seem like he's a little,
hoity-toity now. I'm not a high-level diner, but look, speaking of fried bird, the Ravens last night.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
That's exactly right. What in the world happened with the Ravens?
Man.
They scored, but they seemingly can't stop anybody. Yeah. So I don't understand it. It seems like they just don't have that same Ravens defense that we always laud. We laud Jim, or is it
John?
It's okay. So we laud John Harbaugh for always having a good defense. And let me just tell you this: Ray Lewis is retired and he ain't coming back. So and I get it. They got
Suggs,
Roquan.
Suggs.
He's gone.
He's gone. Yeah.
They got Roquan Smith. They got Kyle Hamilton. They got Marlon Humphreys. All of these guys that they're paying a lot of money to, but they seemingly can't stop anybody.
Yeah.
It's the same way against the Bills when they played the Bills.
Yeah, but the thing is that, we're talking 10, 12 years ago with all these great defenses that they had, even 20 years ago, really. I mean, the Broncos used to be awesome defense back in the 80s, so time changes organizations and franchises, and I guess that's probably one of the things we have to deal with the Ravens, that we can't stereotype them as being the defensive team.
Well, realistically, when you look at the NFL, it has almost changed to kind of what the college game has changed to. It's how many points can we score, who's going to get us more points, because the days of defense is not, I mean, obviously, now, I will say the Eagles, the reason why they won the Super Bowl last year was because of their defense. I know that their offense was good, but the defense was stout. They were putting Mahomes in all kinds of positions.
And the Chiefs have done pretty well. I mean, you always talk about Mahomes, but hey, that Chiefs defense is solid. The Bucs won with Brady. They had a good defense. But I'm trying to think of, other than the Ravens, the Saints won one Super Bowl with the defense, and then, of course, the Seahawks, man.
Yeah.
And it was the turnovers.
The Seahawks, that's what I was going to say, outside of the Seahawks. But then you got to think about, when you look at the actual game of the Super Bowls, when you look back, Tom Brady really didn't kill it in the Super Bowls. The defenses were realistically what was helping them win those games. Yeah. The actual Super Bowl games, not the season and all that, because they did outscore some people.
Of course, there was that 1 second half that they had against the Falcons.
Oh, yeah.
Bone Crusher,
he acts like he doesn't listen to that.
I can't hear you.
We gave him a lot of rap yesterday, so either way, that's really how it was. But I mean, when you look at it, the Ravens really is, they're struggling and they're going backwards, I think, because you can't.
I'm not hitting the panic button this week after week 3.
Yeah, but they're 1-2.
Yeah, they're 1-2, just like the Chiefs.
I think they were one.
I'm not hitting the panic button.
I think they were 1-2 last year too, though, starting the season. Yeah, I believe I heard that. So, I mean, it's not time to hit the panic button. How many? When you look at Derrick Henry, he has never fumbled the ball in the first 3 games of his career ever. You know what I mean? So he's been there 11 years in the NFL, and he's not done that. And so he's fumbled the ball. He's the only running back that's fumbled the ball in all 3 of their games so far this year. And he spoke about it today or last night, actually, and he takes all the blame. He's like, I can't believe it. I don't know what's going on. And I don't know if you saw him, but he went to throw his helmet on the rack that has behind the bench, and he stumbled and he fell on the bench last night, and it's becoming a meme now. So, but either way, we do have a Red 17's phone line. We've got Bill from Covington, Tennessee. Bill, how are you doing today, my friend?
Doing great. How you guys doing?
We're doing great, Bill. I know that voice. Tell me what's on your mind,
absolutely.
Bill.
Hey, how are the Bad News Billies doing today? Anybody got an idea?
I'm sure they're listening.
So here, just a small. Okay, so DJ's in a boot. He shouldn't have been playing the first 3 or 4 games. He's been hurt, obviously. Okay.
Yep.
So here's my point to all this. Billy Napier is supposed to be this guru of play calling, offensive coordinator guy, whatever. I'm just wondering, if Billy Napier were the head coach of Billy Napier, would he fire his offensive coordinator, which would be himself? I mean, think about it, guys. Think about it. And all the listeners, please chime in, because I want to know. If you were Billy Napier and you had this guy, Billy Napier, Bad News Billy, calling plays, would you fire him, or would you let him keep doing it and forget it and not even just, hey, man, no big deal, no biggie. Hey, it's Bad News Billy. He's going to keep calling plays. We're going to keep sucking. We put a great defense on the field every week, and they've got to be getting tired of this crap.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Got to be.
Yeah, you're right, because the defense is definitely not the problem. They're definitely playing good, solid defense. They're stopping the run. They're putting them with
and what about the special teams, Matt? We're going to fire him too?
I guess. I mean, they really need to figure it out.
About it. Are we going to keep the special teams, Matt? We got 10 men on the field for special teams. We've had 12 men on the field for special teams. We've had the same jersey number. I heard a report today. There's been 13 penalties thrown against the Florida Gators in Billy Napier's tenure for either too many men on the field, not enough men on the field, or having the same jersey number on the field as special teams. And we hired this special teams, Matt, this thing they put on the field on the sideline that everybody's supposed to line up on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that's supposed to make sure they get the right number of guys on the field. So think about it. Ask the listeners, and I'm asking the listeners, hey, if you were Billy Napier and you were the head coach and you had Billy Napier as your offensive coordinator, would you fire him or would you keep him?
That's right.
The question of the day.
Well, we'll add to that, and we will put that down as our question of the day, just for you, Bill.
Question of the day.
The question of the day. If Billy Napier was the head coach of Billy Napier, the offensive coach, would he fire Billy Napier, the offensive coordinator? That's the question. So we appreciate it, Bill. Thanks for listening.
It's kind of a no-brainer for me, but I don't think Billy's got enough sense to figure it out. So,
Bill, how is it? You're a Gators fan, right?
Right, exactly.
And you're in Tennessee?
Exactly.
Are you like Steve Spurrier?
I do my very best. Trust me, I put up with a lot of crap to be a Gator fan.
Oh, I bet. A
lot of crap, but I'm sticking with them. I'm not going to give up. I got Gators tattoos on my body for people's sake.
That's dedication.
That's
right
dedication.
There.
So I'm not giving up, but I'm done with Billy. Billy's through as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I'll tell you, I was wrong, and I'll admit I'm wrong, and it happens probably every other week when I say something on the air. And what it is, it's about. I said Napier was going to get fired Sunday if they lose to by the Hurricanes by a decent enough points. You know, it would have to come down to the wire, or they'd have to win for him to save his job. And guess what happened Sunday? Sunday came and gone, and Napier still got his job.
Yeah. There's some inside information I think we're going to get on Friday. So everybody listen for Friday. We do have an insider going to talk some stuff that is going on in the building. But, Bill, thank you so much. We appreciate you listening. And that is going to be our question of the day. Should Billy Napier fire the offensive coordinator, Billy Napier? Because when you look at how they've been playing, and we've got Taylor Devers coming on today, he's going to surely dive into that a little bit. So we're going to definitely talk about the Gators. But I will say this. One of our guys said that imagine if they didn't call that TD off for forward progress. That would have put Miami up 20-0, forcing Florida to drop back the rest of the game. So there you go. And then somebody did write that Jeff is wrong a lot. So.
Is that a hurricane?
I don't know. We'll have to look later on that one. But when you look at it, I mean, really, they've got some issues going on there that they're going to have to get fixed because you do have that kind of fan base. I did not know, and I figured, because there's not a lot of Florida fans in Kentucky. There's not a lot of Florida fans in Alabama. Mm-hmm. But when you look at it, Florida fans, they're just as passionate. They're just as into it. I mean, you got fans that are tattooed up. They've got, the shirts, the clothing. They buy the shoes. I mean, all of the stuff for the Florida Gators. This is their head football coach. Like, they want to have somebody in there that they believe in, that they trust in, and they clearly don't trust in Billy Napier at all. Not to just be the head coach, but to call the plays. They just don't want him to be there, and that's a big deal for their fan base. And, I mean, absolutely. When there's websites that say firebilly.com or Facebook page that is firebillynapier or Firebilly Napier page, I mean, that's serious business. And there's thousands of Florida fans that are on there looking and commenting and texting and wanting to get him out of there. And he's not dumb. He sees that stuff. He knows it's there. He's got social media. There's no doubt he doesn't have social media. If he doesn't have it, his wife has it. If she doesn't have it, his children have it. If they don't have it, his brother has it. Whoever has it, he knows that there's people that aren't happy with the job that he's doing. And when you think about what Florida has got going on right now, there's two sides to every deal. And you got to look at the money. It's $21.8 million is his buyout.
That's nothing.
That's nothing. But if you do fire a coach during the season, you can lose your players. Now, that is one thing about Florida that every Florida Gator knows, because Billy Napier, he hasn't done good with his X's and O's, but Billy Napier is a great recruiter, and he has won the state of Florida as far as being a recruiter.
But if you go 3-9 or 4-8, it's really going to kill your recruiting. Somehow Norvell has turned it around off of just one bad year. But, Napier was in a bowl last year.
But remember how Norvell did it. Norvell did it with going to the portal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Billy Napier is getting 5-star after 5-star after 5-star. I mean, all through the summer, all through the fall, all through the winter, all of that, you see all these 5-stars coming in, and you see these young guys. And see, it's a new era, and he's still able to pull those kids because you know why? Because that brand is still a top brand in college football. The Florida Gator brand is still a top brand. I don't care how long ago it's been since they won a national title.
I guess I don't know if it makes it into the top 10. It's definitely top 15, easily.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The brand.
Yeah, the brand. It's a job.
Yeah.
It's
not top 5.
But it's top 10.
It might be top 10.
I think it's probably top 10. I still do. I still think the Gator brand.
And they're sharing the state with the Seminoles. And the Seminoles probably have a little bit more fans here in the state. But the problem is the Gators and the Hurricanes, they have a lot of out-of-state help following.
Yeah.
And most of it is up the East Coast. And you know how you were saying there's no Gator fans in Bama, which is pretty correct. And there might be a few in Georgia, southern Georgia probably. But the thing is about Florida is they have 6 to 7 times the amount of population as Georgia not Georgia, but definitely Alabama. So there's more people.
Right.
Yeah, and they're splitting the state. Where Bama, I mean, they get a good, 65% of the fans in the state are Bama fans in Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying Auburn's is not the same. I mean, they have a lot, don't get me wrong, but...
Yeah, they're not the same.
And y'all aren't the flagship, but you're dang close to it.
Yeah, and you got to think, too, when you talk about the recruiting, when you talk about the state of Florida being the hotbed, them in Texas, Florida does a great job. And the way you know is the recruiting websites, they rank you. And Florida's always in the top, and that's the deal.
But their quarterback's from Texas, and their running back is from Atlanta.
True.
That says something in itself. Are you winning the state? You're sharing the state is what you're doing.
You're sharing it, but you're gathering other 5-stars from other states, and there's enough to go around. Because why is there enough to go around? This is an interesting point. Think about this. And you're going to say, oh, yeah, you're probably right. I like it when you say that. So when you look at it, a lot of the teams like Norvell, the Norvells of the world, they're going to the portal. Not that they're turning down 5-stars, not that they're trying not to get the 5-stars, but they are come to realization, I can't get these 5-stars, so I'm going to the portal. So what happens is that people that can get in there and get the 5-stars, they don't get the portal as much as the ones that get the 5-stars.
Yeah.
So you see what I'm saying? So you kind of have to pick and choose what you're going to be. And that's the key. And I think Billy, as bad as he's done coaching X's and O's, the 5-star pickups in the state, out of the state, and around the country, he's been really good at that.
And, we'll talk about this a different time because I know we're going to get a commercial break. But Clemson not being able to get it the NIL, and South Carolina just doesn't have that population or that amount of talent to share it with the Gamecocks and be successful. Dabo has to change and either become an NIL guy or go to another college.
You think that's his way out? You don't think there's enough 5-stars that are going to come to Clemson because now his Alabama connections got people like T. Higgins and those guys.
Trevor Lawrence is from Georgia.
Right.
You're right. I don't want to say you're right near the state line, but you're within an hour drive of hitting the state line of Georgia.
Where's Deshaun Watson from?
Yeah. Oh, I don't even know.
I don't either.
Yeah, but North Carolina's right up there. You're closer to North Carolina, and then Tennessee's a rock's throw from Clemson.
Clemson, yeah.
So you got 3 states you're right up on. You have a reputation, but if you let this program go down, it might stay there.
Yeah, because South Carolina is on the up. They're not all the way yet. Now, if Beamer leaves, who knows?
Oh, yeah.
But South Carolina is taking steps to get better. They are getting more recruits. They are doing better. They are stealing some recruits from Clemson. And then you got to think, too, Bill Belichick is right up in North Carolina trying to get recruits as well. Obviously, his name lends to, some of those kids coming there. And so that's who Dabo has to fight and get, So you're right. With him not doing the things that other coaches have done to get his program to change with the times and get some of these portal kids, because he was dead set against it in the beginning, is little old Clemson's just going to stay right there and we're going to keep doing what we're doing, and it's not working.
And the rise of Tennessee, and of course, Georgia's a staple, right, in the SEC.
Right.
Florida's a little bit down, but they're going to bounce back. Just like you said, they're a brand.
Yes.
Clemson could be the casualty in this whole squeeze of that southeastern part of the United States.
And I know that we'll get some props for this one. And if the U is really back, like for the next 5 years, if Miami can be good for the next 5 years, that's going to really crunch Clemson. If they don't win championships, conference championships, nobody will want to go to Clemson anymore.
Yeah, and they've already been eliminated pretty much this year. Georgia Tech and Syracuse, 2 conference losses like that.
Done.
I mean,
stick a fork in them.
The chance has got to be like 0.4% to get the ACC championship, and that's impossible.
Done. We've got to take our break.
Yep.
When we come back, you know what time it is. The Chop Chat, Norvell Central, Taylor Devers is going to be on the phone line. You're listening to the Sports Blitz at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Call in now.
This is Touchstone Service.
The Red 70 studio line is open.
Demonstrate how to make a call with your dial telephone.
850-215-6290. Mornings on ESPN Northwest Florida just got unsportsmanlike.
You talk about the team as a collective and not letting the success of the Super Bowl get to their heads. I know Jalen Hurts came in and said, I'm not wearing the ring, we've turned the page. But then why don't we give Nick Sirianni the same credit for saying, banner night, whatever, we're moving on. He does the same thing. He's also the coach that is stewarding the team through this chapter and through these wins. He deserves more credit than a lot of people want to give him.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle. Weekdays 5 to 7 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Tuesday. Sunny the rest of the day with a gentle breeze out of the southwest at 11 miles per hour and temps near 88. Tonight we will have mostly clear skies and a wind speed of 2 miles per hour and be warm at 74. Mostly sunny tomorrow and a high 88. A mixture of mostly sunshine and light rain Thursday with a temp of 88. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Saturday, September 27th, come to the grand opening land sale at the ranches at Creekside Preserve and get your gorgeous 20 to 50 acre estate in desirable Baldwin County on sale from only $139.9. That's right. Get 20 to 50 acres in Baldwin County from just $139.9 with excellent financing available. Ranches at Creekside Preserve features private large acreage tracts with beautiful woodlands, rolling meadows, and a peaceful creek, all surrounded by pristine natural beauty and abundant wildlife. It's your opportunity to live in Baldwin County, Alabama, one of the fastest growing coastal counties in the U.S. due to low taxes and a low cost of living. Don't miss out. Come to the grand opening land sale at the ranches at Creekside Preserve and get your gorgeous 20 to 50 acre estate in desirable Baldwin County on sale from only $139.9. Call 877-888-1415 or go to creeksidepreserveal.com. That's creeksidepreserveal.com.
Looking for dependable civil construction in the Florida Panhandle? CBC Construction has you covered. From land clearing and drainage to roads and underground utilities, CBC delivers high-quality work on time and on budget. Locally owned and operated, CBC is trusted by schools, developers, and municipalities. To learn more, call CBC Construction 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com. That's cbcconstruction.com.
The big wins feel even bigger, and the moments are still larger than life because your Atlanta Braves are still battling every single night.
Swung on the fly ball, hit well, back to the wall. This one flies away.
Tonight, you won't want to miss a minute of Atlanta Braves baseball from Truist Park in Atlanta as the Braves face the Washington Nationals.
Braves taking on the Nationals. Pregame 6 o'clock. First pitch 6:15. Your home for the Braves on the Gulf Coast. ESPN Northwest Florida.
You found us inside the CBC Construction Studios. If you have a problem with our hot takes, call us and say it to our face.
10 years years from now, I'll be making a difference in this world while you'll be sitting there getting your diaper changed by your nurse.
The Sports Blitz is on the air. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
All right, we are back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, you can call in, you can text in on the Red 70s phone line, 850-215-6290. And we are pumped up, we're geared up, we're ready to go. This is a great, beautiful Tuesday. And we have on the phone line our guy for Tuesdays, Taylor Devers. He's with Chop Chat and Norvell Central. Man, Taylor, how's it going, my friend?
It's going great. I wouldn't say the same about those teams in orange, but we'll get to that a little bit later.
Oh, man, you just don't know. We've already had a caller today, and the Florida Gator talk has already started. I do have to, while you guys are here on the phone, we got to listen to some of the comments on our Facebook page. Bill McWhirter said the big problem is bad news. Billy is ruining these guys. Top of loan 2 O-line coaches. Billy. He's responsible and should be a man, but he's still being arrogant and selfish, and he should just quit. That's what one fan said. And then we made a statement about Miami Hurricanes, and our resident Miami fan says, as long as Mario is around, Miami will have a top 10 talent year in, year out. The sleeping giant has awoken, and Clemson's time is over. So what do you guys think about that? You think Clemson's done, Taylor?
Well, I had Cade Klubnik as my top quarterback coming into this year.
Whoa. Time out. Hold on a second. Now, we know. Now, I took it on the chin about Alabama losing to Florida State. Remember that? It's been a while back.
3 weeks.
But listen, who told you that Cade Klubnik was not good? Who was that? Who told you?
I would definitely give you props because I thought that he was going to be enough. I thought this defensive line was going to be very good. This is a returning roster. Coaching staff has been there for years. Continuity is there. I mean, it is everything for a winning success and recipe was there for Clemson. And you were seeing a defeated Dabo Swinney and a defeated team that I don't know if they can catch a break.
Yeah, see, I agree with you. If you look at the press conferences, if you look at the body language, coaching young men from little kids all the way up until they're older into college, you always talk about body language. And, man, Dabo's body language, I've never seen it like it is right now. The body language when he's talking to the media, when he's talking to his players, when he's on the sideline, when he's watching the game from the sideline, the look that he has right now, I believe you're exactly right. It's a defeated. It's a deflated. It's almost like I don't know what to do. There's confusion in the camp. I don't understand what they're going to do. I don't understand what they have to do. But Clemson, it's not that they aren't in these games that they lost. It's the fact that we're so used to seeing them win games that are close. We're so used to seeing them impose their will on teams. That's the part of Clemson that I don't see. We don't see anything good out of the quarterback play. And usually it was always, if they didn't have the quarterback that could do it, they'd bring somebody else in that would do it. And I mean, Clemson has had some really good college quarterbacks, whether they made it in the NFL and did anything in there from Taj Boyd, Deshaun Watson, Sunshine, and even Cade Klubnik has been serviceable. But he's kind of, like you said, he's kind of horrible.
Yeah, I'm not really too sure what's going on there. I thought it was going to be because Antonio Williams, their best receiver, was out. They just don't have any playmakers on the wide receiver side of things. Their offensive line is decent, but it just seems like they can't get the ball down the field. It's just a lot of things that are messed up. And, you made up a good point a couple weeks ago where you were talking about how Florida State was made of transfers and you thought the transfer portal wasn't sustainable. Well, Dabo doesn't use the transfer portal. His team is full of high school recruits, homegrown talent, and he still can't win. So does that kind of give you kind of a definition of how to win in today's college football, kind of having that mix between recruits and also transfers?
I think it depends on your state, and I think Jeff's going to go into that a little bit.
Yeah, I would just finish talking about the population of South Carolina is not Florida or Georgia, and they don't have the amount of athletes, especially to share with the Gamecocks in that state. Now, I understand that they're next to Georgia, next to North Carolina, and a stone's throw from Tennessee. So they got to either get them from out of state or get them off the NIL. And this, we were talking a little bit about brands, and there's certain schools in the nation that have a brand that are going to keep and continue to pull people, and some of it will be driven by money, like Texas and Ohio State, right?
Right.
But some are just brands where people want to go there.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying USC, but I mean that's kind of one of them, on the West Coast, and you don't have to share with a whole lot of schools out there on the West Coast like that. Oregon, because of the Nike, not only not Nike money, but people want to go play for the Ducks.
Yeah, and that's really where, Taylor, when you look at that, that's really the problem. Yes, he's built this team up. Yes, he's built it up. But like you said, the football world has changed in the college realm with the NIL, with the portal, all of these things happening, and Dabo has refused to change. He's refused to allow some of this stuff to bleed into the program, and what it's causing is exactly what you're saying. He's got the recruits that he gets and he wants to bring there, and what happens is they're losing to teams that have portal players, and what goes on is that you're gonna have these seasons now, and the thing is that he's built this brand of Dabo, but I don't believe Clemson is in the ball game of these other brands that people want to just go there. You could go up on, and I get it. There's Clemson fans everywhere because of their winnings. I get it. Don't get me wrong. However, the fan bases at Florida State, the fan bases at Alabama, the fan bases that are at Georgia, the fan bases that are even at Florida, those fan bases have been fans for years. We just had a caller. He said, for God forbid, I've got Florida Gator tattoos on my body. And realistically, not that there's not people that cheer for Clemson, but it's normally alumni. There's not a brand at Clemson that if they didn't win those championships that they won, their brand would not be what these other brands are.
And he could become the Tom Landry of college football. He's done a lot of things for where he's at, but they're not worried about the past. They want to know what you're doing right now and what you're doing for the future. And Tom Landry's time had passed, remember?
Yeah.
And then Jimmy Johnson got there and did things so different and everything and just pumped the energy in the room. And it was a changing game at that time. And Tom Landry didn't change the game. And same thing with Clemson, with Dabo Sweeney. He's not changing with the game. He's going to be left like a relic, like a dinosaur, and that's not good. And I'm not knocking on Clemson. I'm not knocking on Dabo. I like the guy. I wish him the best. But, there's a problem, and hopefully it's just a 1 year off like Florida State's going through right now,
I just don't know. Dabo is very concerning with a couple of his comments.
Yeah.
He's always reaching out to the fans saying, if you don't want me here, I don't have to be here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not gonna go on the beach and retire. We're gonna stay around. We're gonna keep coaching. If he gets a job opportunity, because this kind of reminds me of a Jimbo Fisher situation at Florida State. Not money and not resources. It's just in terms of maybe it's just time for him to go to a different scenario. I don't really see him being successful anywhere other than Clemson, but if a SEC program that's kind of struggling calls him out and gets him a contract, do you think that might be an opportunity for him to leave?
Why does it have to be SEC?
Personally, if you look at some of the opportunities he's had, the rosters he's built, he does have an SEC caliber kind of roster.
So why not Virginia Tech?
Of that.
Why not Virginia Tech?
I will say that Clemson's already tired of the ACC as itself. Florida State and Clemson have both wanted to get out of the conference.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not necessarily saying the conference is going to be that type of deal, but I do think that they give them a little bit more resources. Yes, the fans are a little bit more crazier, but at the same time, it could be a different change of scenery. Could be a different set of location where he can recruit a little bit better and get more transfer portal guys. Also getting a little more recruits, in-state. So it just kind of depends, really. Just kind of the location he's at is not really the greatest in the world, but Clemson fans are very optimistic and excited about their program. So they want Clemson to be successful.
I don't see him at Arkansas. Florida Gators could be a small possibility, but I don't know where else he could go.
Yeah. Well, let me just tell you this. This was from a post from South Carolina that says that right now, as it sits, Brent Venables is a 2-1 favorite to be the next coach for the Clemson Tigers. Guess who's number 2? Jimbo Fisher. Number 3, Deion Sanders, John Summerall, Lane Kiffin, Ryan Silverville, Shane Beamer, John Gruden, Will Stein, and Kenny Dillingham. Now, that's the ones that are in the top 10. But I agree with you, Taylor. I don't think he goes anywhere that's not some type of SEC program or something. I don't see him going to a smaller level school and trying to revitalize the program. I don't see him going somewhere that's going to be, 4 losses every year. I just don't think he's built like that. I think he wants to turn something into a winner and turn it into a winner fast. I don't think maybe the first year, but after the second or third year, once they get all of his coaches in style.
I saw that exact same list earlier, and I didn't want to regurgitate it. Because I thought all these guys on this list, it was just unbelievably way off. I could see Brent. I could see Brent coming there if Oklahoma wasn't doing good. Oklahoma is a brand. They're a top tier team, and they're having the success that they're having right now. There's no way he would leave Oklahoma to go to Clemson. So Napier is getting hand surgery tomorrow in Los Angeles, the wrist surgery, and after they killed Kent State this weekend, they got 5 SEC games that are insane. Tennessee and Alabama are 2 of them. They're just going through this insane schedule. It's nuts. And then I think their last 2 games, I can't remember who they played before LSU. I mean, you can almost say 7 games, really. And it's all SEC after this Kent State game. And that Oklahoma, Brent Venables' job, I'm not saying it's up for grabs after all this and all that, but I think we're too high on Oklahoma right now. It's like a 1-2 week thing, and we're going to be forgetting about Oklahoma. They're going to get a reality check soon.
Well, that's what somebody wrote on Facebook. They said that Napier going down, there's a possibility there might be a little reality check. Also, another writer wrote on here, a listener said that Dabo to Oklahoma State, Silverfield from Memphis to Arkansas, book it. He said book it.
Who to Arkansas?
Silverfield, the Memphis coach.
Oh, the Memphis coach. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Book it, he said. He said that's going to happen. So
I'd actually agree more with the Memphis coach going to Arkansas
than you would
Dabo. I would Dabo's not going to Oklahoma State. He's not.
Now think about it. When you look at Oklahoma State, I mean, who do you have to beat every year? You know what I mean? That could be a possibility.
Kansas State?
Yeah, but I'm saying
TCU maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But the Big 12 is so big, they have 16 or 18 teams. They're never playing the same team every year.
Doesn't matter if Dabo can go there and build something there like he did at Clemson and win the conference. He's automatically guaranteed to be in the college football playoff every year, and then one time he might win it. You see what I mean?
Big fish, little pond.
Bill, I agree with you. Jeff does not. Just make sure you keep that on your Facebook so you understand. Jeff's saying you're wrong. I'm saying, Bill Werder, you're right, my friend. But we're going to have to take our break. When we come back, we're going to dive more into this ACC stuff and Florida State, Miami, Florida, all of the above. We are excited. You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
In the game. Call or text us now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. The brutal hits. The heartbreaking turnovers. The roaring comebacks.
In for the touchdown.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida delivers the biggest matchups of the week from across the nation. Your college football headquarters on the Gulf Coast. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Tuesday. Sunny the rest of the day with a gentle breeze out of the southwest at 11 miles per hour and temps near 88. Tonight we will have mostly clear skies and a wind speed of 2 miles per hour and be warm at 74. Mostly sunny tomorrow and a high 88. A mixture of mostly sunshine and light rain Thursday with a temp of 88. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Saturday, September 27th, come to the grand opening land sale at the ranches at Creekside Preserve and get your gorgeous 20 to 50 acre estate in desirable Baldwin County on sale from only $139.9. That's right. Get 20 to 50 acres in Baldwin County from just $139.9 with excellent financing available. Ranches at Creekside Preserve features private large acreage tracts with beautiful woodlands, rolling meadows, and a peaceful creek, all surrounded by pristine natural beauty and abundant wildlife. It's your opportunity to live in Baldwin County, Alabama, one of the fastest growing coastal counties in the U.S. due to low taxes and a low cost of living. Don't miss out. Come to the grand opening land sale at the ranches at Creekside Preserve and get your gorgeous 20 to 50 acre estate in desirable Baldwin County on sale from only $139.9. Call 877-888-1415 or go to creeksidepreserveal.com. That's creeksidepreserveal.com.
College Football Saturday on ESPN Radio.
This is the best afternoon.
Sixth-ranked Oregon travels to Happy Valley to face number 3 Penn State in a whiteout game.
We've played in good environments before. They
Cover starts Saturday at 6 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Now, we're live and local inside the CBC Construction Studios. They're number 1 in the men's room.
I hope this place comes with toilet paper.
The Sports Blitz.
Oh, geez, this is going to be a photo finish.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, you can call in, you can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. Don't forget, you can also check in on Facebook. You can like it, you can share it, you can comment, you can heart it. If you like what Jeff's wearing today, you give a good old heart on there, talking about how great that shirt looks. But either way, also don't forget the ESPN app and YouTube. We're on all of that. Share it, like it, comment, whatever you'd like to do. We are talking with Taylor Devers on the Chop Chat, Norvell Central. You know, Taylor, when you look at the landscape of the ACC and you do see this, weakening of Clemson, it kind of gives everybody else the opportunity, because we can't not say that Clemson's been dominant for the last 10 years in the conference. And now it looks like that Clemson is out. A lot of these teams now are vying for that top spot, and that's really where we are. You got coaches that are like Norvell. You got coaches that are like Cristobal. You got coaches like Brent Key. You got all of these guys that are really trying to push to get themselves to the top of the ACC. And it's kind of fair weather right now. Whoever can win, that's really what it's all about. It's just winning the football games. So how does that make you feel as a Florida State fan, knowing that the top spot's open? Because every time we've ever talked about the ACC, it's always started with Clemson and ended with Clemson.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird slate right now, because you're looking at 3 teams: Miami, Florida State, Georgia Tech, as you said. It just is a weird circumstance. I never really envisioned. I thought Georgia Tech was going to be really good this year. I thought Clemson was going to be good. Thought Miami was going to be solid. I didn't know to the extent of what it was. I knew Florida State was also going to be solid. It just, the conference as a whole, I thought was good, but I didn't think they were great. Obviously, as we know, they're not the Big Ten and not the SEC. They don't have the eyes that are necessary to get them up to that top 2 conferences, but this is an exciting thing to actually have some different teams in there. You saw last year with SMU was a big factor in kind of getting them in, a surprise team. But now this year, Georgia Tech's kind of that sleeping giant waiting because they don't play a Florida State this year, and they don't play in Miami. So we'll kind of see how that factors in. But you even got Louisville that's sneaking in there that everybody forgets about. So it's just going to be an exciting finish to see what the ACC does, and we'll kind of figure out what's going to happen.
You know, there is some slights when it comes to Louisville because they haven't played anybody. Mm-hmm. If they were somebody else, like another school, a big name, they would be ranked right now.
Yeah, I was kind of worried about NC State, too. I like C.J. Bailey a lot. I think that team is very solid with Dave Doran. I know he has potential to be able to have that team up to par. So we'll kind of see as Florida State plays them in November. But just overall, I mean, everybody's talking about this Florida State-Miami game, but Florida State's got to get through Virginia on a Friday night. I mean, that's not going to be an easy challenge either. Not to say Virginia is some powerhouse and they're like an Alabama that they played earlier in the season, but it's a game you can't look over.
Yeah, that's true. What I would like to do, I would like to start the Florida State-Virginia prep at the top of the hour. But when we do talk about that, I've got some stuff I want to share with you that I think is going to be kind of crazy when you look at it. So do y'all think that North Carolina State is realistically a team that is going to be one of those teams that's going to be on the outlier, that if they have some people lose, if some things happen, injuries happen, they could possibly get in the ACC championship, and then anything can happen with a one-game playoff? Or is it Louisville, even though Louisville hasn't played anybody? Really, when you look at Louisville, though, they haven't looked good with their winning. They win the game, but they don't look great. And that's what I wonder about them. I know you were high on Miller Moss coming into the season. And, you know, I guess that all that matters is that you're winning. But how you win sometimes is a big deal. And they're not winning like you should. They don't come in and impose their will on these smaller teams, and that makes you wonder when you do play a tough team if they're going to be the type of team that folds when they play against somebody that's the same talent.
Sounds like the Tampa Bay Bucks. I mean, they just beat the Jets, and the Jets are the Jets. Come on.
Yeah.
You know? Now, NC State just lost to Duke. And
that's
see, this
problem.
This is the problem, is that the ACC, if they have these mid-teams kind of knocking off the teams that are 3, 4, or 5 in the conference, you're going to be limited to just 2 teams back in the playoffs again, which is highly likely. And, you know, NC State, I'm not saying I was high on them because they barely escaped Virginia, you know. But, you know, we're all looking at, you know, Georgia Tech and Louisville outside of the Miami and Florida State conversation.
Yeah, Taylor, do you think that there's an opportunity? Obviously, there's an opportunity, but do you think in being a realist, do you think that there's a possibility that there could be an undefeated ACC team coming out of the ACC?
Possibly. I think Miami's probably going to be your best bet there. I think Florida State's got some challenges that are very realistically there. Georgia Tech also has a chance, too, to be very competitive. I think Florida State's kind of on that outside looking in right now. You have, you know, the Miami game. I also have at Clemson. That's never going to be an easy challenge regardless of what Clemson is on the field. And then even with the North Carolina State thing, with them losing to Duke, you're going to see what they are in November. They play Georgia Tech, Miami, and Florida State back to back to back. So, I mean, there goes your challenge right there for North Carolina State if they can hang on to that one loss in the conference. Doesn't seem likely, but, hey, anything's possible.
So that Georgia Tech, though, that's who, like, they've got the easiest schedule. And, I mean, when you look at it, they've got Georgia at the end of the season. That's it, if you look at their schedule. And I think they have the greatest opportunity to come in and be, you know, and that's the thing. Like, what we don't really know what Georgia's going to be. We got Georgia, Alabama this weekend. That'll let us know a little bit more. We saw what they did against Tennessee. Gave up a lot of points to a Tennessee team that had a, you know, first-year starting quarterback for that system. So, I mean, when you look at it, you kind of don't really know about Georgia. And the other thing about Georgia is that they're playing an Alabama team that's in the same boat. I mean, you saw the terrible way that they played against Florida State beginning the season, and then now they've won a couple of games against pretty much nobody-style teams, and then now you're going to see this big game come up, and it's going to tell you a lot you need to know about either program. But, I mean, when you look at Georgia Tech, you kind of know what you're going to get. They're going to run the football, and they're going to run it with their quarterback. And that seemed to work last year against Georgia. So, realistically, going forward, I get what you're saying about Miami, and their schedule, I think Miami's got those chances to have those slip-up games where they're Carson, because I'm all in on Carson Beck. I think he's going to have a great year. But you know as well as I do, Carson Beck has been known to throw an interception or two, and I could see Miami getting in a dogfight somewhere at night and it being a problem. And that's kind of one of the things that I would say with Miami. I think Georgia Tech, if you would ask me today who has the best chance to go undefeated, it really is going to depend on what Georgia looks like. You know, if they come out there and put 40 on Alabama and, you know, holds them to 10 or 12 points or something like that, you know, I'd be like, well, Georgia's probably going to beat Georgia Tech. But if Georgia and Alabama don't look great and they just kind of, you know, go back and forth, then there's a chance that Georgia Tech could go undefeated.
Yeah, well, Georgia Tech had that second loss of the season because they lost to Bama and Ole Miss last year. They were there for the Georgia Tech game, and Georgia Tech gave them a little, you know.
They went to overtime, like 4 or 5 overtimes.
That's right. Yeah, that was a tough game, man. It's a rivalry game. Let me bring up something up to you. So, not knocking on Georgia Tech, not knocking on Louisville, okay? I'm not knocking on any of the other teams that have a smaller possibility of making it to the ACC championship. But the way that we thought 4 weeks ago with Florida State, and we were looking at the Miami game a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
But the month of November for Florida State's schedule, at Clemson, now we're looking at a 1-3 Clemson, right? Mm-hmm. Virginia Tech just fired their coach, so we're definitely thinking differently about them, right?
Yep.
NC State, who just lost to Duke, and then Florida Gators. I mean, the month of November has collapsed. Their whole reputation for having a strong November and opponents that can maybe knock them off, we've just gone in the toilet with those 4 teams. I mean, the reputation is kind of flushed, and I'm not saying that the Seminoles and the Hurricanes are going to rematch in the ACC championship, but that's a possibility now.
Big possibility.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Taylor?
It was a weird thing because everybody's so worried about the NC State at night because it's on a Friday night. You're worried about Florida because it's in the swamp. We understand that. We know that Florida State's had a tough time beating Clemson over the last couple of years. But when you look at it that way, and Florida State's kind of November is basically collapsed and made it favorable for them, really, if you can skate away and maybe if you have to lose to Miami and then kind of just run the rest of the table through, and you got one loss and you're basically in a – I mean, even if Miami and Georgia Tech play for the ACC championship, you're pretty much in with 11-1. I mean, even if you don't have to play the ACC championship, technically.
Is there a possibility that you could have all 3 of those teams with one loss?
In that circumstance, I think it's quite possible.
Yeah, that's possible, isn't it? Yeah. And then that would mean that you would have to all but put 3 teams in from the ACC this year with one loss.
Gosh, I know that would kill the playoff committee. I know they are just licking their chops. They are waiting for that beauty contest. I already can feel it.
No, that's right. So, that's the thing.
But in Indiana or Oregon, somebody's got to fall out. I mean, it's going to be cutting it close. That third team is going to be, and well, here's the thing about it. So Georgia Tech doesn't play Florida State, right?
No.
So Florida State takes a loss to Miami. Georgia Tech takes a loss to Miami. And then Miami's undefeated. And then Miami loses the conference championship. That is the round. It's not a round robin because Miami will have not played. Well, well, I don't know. I guess Florida State wouldn't have played Georgia Tech in that situation.
Yeah, but what if Georgia Tech loses to Georgia but wins the conference championship?
Yeah, then you'll have
that's the only loss Miami has, and then the only loss that Florida State would have is to Miami.
But no, Miami would be in the conference championship, and then they would have 2 losses because they would have lost to Georgia Tech. See what I mean? Yeah, that would screw it all up. Georgia Tech's got to beat Georgia in order for these 3 teams to have 1 loss and all make the playoffs. And you would think. I mean, it'd be perfect
like
scenario.
A 3-loss SEC school, I don't really know. I mean, like, would you accept a 3-loss SEC school over a 1-loss SEC school?
Well, we SMU last year, right?
Yeah.
So and I probably would, but we're talking that sent 2 teams in. We're talking about that third team. That's the big deal because the SEC and the Big Ten is probably going to get 3 teams in.
Oh, no, 4.
I meant 4 teams,
with Notre Dame out. I'm saying Notre Dame out. They'd have to run the whole table and be 10-2.
They got a terrible schedule.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is just going to be a ridiculous way to kind of figure this out because the SEC is pretty loaded still. I think the conference itself, like Texas, for example, with Arch Manning, not a lot of people thought that he was going to be an absolute just train wreck of a quarterback right now. There's a couple of just pieces that you just really don't know, like Syracuse, who I thought was going to maybe contend, maybe be that wild card, and now Steve Angeli's hurt at quarterback and going to be out for the rest of the year. I mean, that can't even throw a wrench into anybody's team this year probably. So it's just a mess.
And then you look at Mateer, and then you look at what's going on with Lenore Sellers, with South Carolina. Those are the teams that we got, that we were high on coming into the season. So either way, it's going to be kind of curious. But we're going to go ahead and take our break. And when we come back, we're going to dive into those Seminoles from Florida State. You're listening to the Sports Blitz here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Red 70s studio line is now open. 850-215-6290. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is your college football headquarters for the biggest and best games of the week.
It's a touchdown!
Huge rivalries and your favorite teams in the SEC, ACC, and beyond.
It's a miracle!
The Gators, Hurricanes, LSU, Georgia, Auburn, and Notre Dame play here.
Unbelievable!
The Gulf Coast headquarters for college football is 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Tuesday. Mostly clear tonight with very little wind and temps near 75. Tomorrow morning we will have mostly sunshine and a wind speed of 2 miles per hour and be hot at 87. Mostly sunny in the afternoon and evening and a high 87. A variety of mostly sunshine and a likelihood of thunderstorms Thursday with a temp of 86. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Every love story deserves a perfect beginning. At Tracy's Fine Jewelry, we believe that your engagement ring should be as unique as your love. Explore our vast selection of certified natural and lab-created diamonds, each hand-picked for brilliance and beauty. Whether you desire the timeless allure of one of our hand-selected engagement rings, or you'd like to custom design the perfect ring, visit us today and let our experts guide you in finding the ring of her dreams, because love deserves the best. Tracy's Fine Jewelry, where love sparkles.
When you bring your vehicle to Panama City Toyota for repairs or maintenance, you'll get the warmest welcome around.
That's because we see service differently.
It's not only an expert team that can help with everything, from simple adjustments to a new set of tires. It's also a team that values your time, so we make your experience as quick and comfortable as possible. Because we're committed to service that goes beyond. Only at Panama City Toyota.
WVLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
A rhetorical question, which means I already know the answer and it does not require an answer.
But we'll give you one.
Yeah.
Man, I really want to answer.
Yeah. Do you think the Detroit Lions and Dan Campbell were sending a message on Sunday? Do you? Our favorite Bill Burr soundbite.
Oh, do you?
They were sending a message.
Mighty Ducks. Not worth winning if you can't win big.
Rich Eisen weekdays starting at 11. Now on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Broadcasting from the CBC Construction Studios. Now back to the Sports Blitz on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Now it's 5 o'clock on a Tuesday. You made it. The work day is over. Now it is time to get something to eat and watch something good. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're so glad that you've decided to join us today. Whether you're listening to us on the radio, whether you're following us on Facebook or YouTube, man, if you could, just go ahead and give us a like, give us a share, give us a comment. Also, don't forget, you can call in on the Red 70s phone line, 850-215-6290. We're talking with Taylor Devers on the Chop Chat Norvell Central. We've been talking about this ACC, how this crazy scenario could happen if everybody does what they should do and supposed to do. We could have 3 ACC teams at the end of the season with 1 loss. And just like what one of our listeners, Blake Corley, says, Georgia Tech doesn't play Miami unless they play in the ACC championship. Blake, you're exactly right. And that's where the kink could be going. If Florida State loses to Miami, Miami stays undefeated, goes to the ACC championship. If Georgia Tech loses to Georgia at the final game of the season, they still will be eligible to be in the ACC championship. Now you've got Georgia Tech playing Miami. If Georgia Tech beats Miami in the ACC championship, you've got Miami with a 1 loss, Georgia Tech with a 1 loss, and then you still got Florida State sitting out on the backside with 1 loss. So there is how your conundrum could happen with the ACC.
So it was revealed yesterday that the ACC is moving to a 9-game conference schedule, just like the SEC. And, of course, the Big Ten's already been doing this. And the Big 12, I think, was the first one to do it. And they are actually still being held to, they have to play an out-of-conference Power 4 opponent. So Florida State playing the Gators every year, that qualifies.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're basically moving to what SEC has, except for the fact that the SEC is announcing at 6 p.m. today the official 3 teams that they'll play every year as their rivalry games.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything out of the ACC yet that they've announced that they would do something like that. So I'm assuming that they're not going to have that, at least for the first year.
Yeah, probably not. If that happened, Taylor, what do you think as a Florida State fan, who would you like for your 3 teams to be? Because you know how it is. You don't want to have to play 3 solid teams every year. And they're not going to do that because that's what we've saw. There was a leak with the SEC yesterday, and we saw that they gave some generosity picks to some of the other teams. But either way, being the Florida State fan, what 3 teams would you like to see on that ACC schedule every year?
Personally, I think it's definitely going to be Clemson. You're definitely going to have Miami. And I would actually go with Virginia. They're a traditional rival. It's an irregular kind of rivalry that Florida State has with them. They have the Jefferson Epps Trophy. It doesn't happen as often anymore. But Florida State fans can definitely tell you they want revenge on Virginia. They want to make sure that they can have an easier opponent. And also on top of it, too, you know, it is a rivalry game. Technically, it still has the trophy there for the former president was back in the day. So we'll just kind of see how it goes. Actually, Virginia was actually the first team to beat Florida State in the ACC back in 1995. So with Danny Cannell at quarterback.
Oh, Danny. Oh, Danny. Did you see Danny there?
Yeah, he was there. He was there with him and Damian Harris was up there. So.
Yeah. Are you going to the what's the next game you're going to?
I'm going to be going to the Miami game. I am not going to Charlottesville. God bless everyone's soul that's going there. Because I heard that the environment over there is not fantastic at Virginia. Don't want to throw any shade over there, but the Miami-Florida State game is going to be absolutely insane.
Yeah, do me a favor, though. The next home game that you go to, you need to make a sign and just say something to Danny Cannell from Paul and Jeff down here or over here in Florida.
So I'll throw my 3 teams in for the Seminoles. You ready? Obviously, Miami's number 1.
Yeah.
You got to preserve that rivalry. Georgia Tech is the next closest team in area and geography. And the third one I'm going to throw out to you, and they both were independents for so long, is Louisville.
Wow.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, for me, now that's who you think it's going to be. Who would you like, though? Who would that one team, because you said Virginia, but who would be the one team that you would like to have every year? Because obviously you want an easier team. You don't want to have all the best team. I mean, you're going to lately, Miami and Clemson, they've been really good. So obviously, would you want somebody like a Duke or a Wake Forest?
I would throw some shots at Wake Forest, because that fan base is terrible. They are awful. Social media, they're terrible. They're just a terrible fan base in general. They don't travel well. It's just a cupcake opponent. Like, Florida State's done really well. I think other than that one year with Jimbo Fisher where they lost 30-0, which was incredibly insane with Riley Skinner at quarterback.
I remember that.
That was an embarrassment. But overall, though, I do like Jeff's perception of the Georgia Tech game. I think that would be really well. Florida State fans are all over the Atlanta area. Mm-hmm. I think it could be a great recruiting battle to get some of those guys in there. I think that would be a great game for Florida State to go ahead and have there. And I'm kind of surprised you didn't include Clemson. That's kind of crazy to me, but I don't view Clemson as a rival. I think it's more so they've been so competitive for so long in the ACC in terms of the championship race over the last couple of years that, you have to kind of classify it as a quote-unquote rival.
Well, Clemson is a traditional ACC team, and they've been around for a long time in that conference. Georgia Tech is one that used to be an SEC that jumped over. Mm-hmm. I would think Clemson would probably grab two teams out of North Carolina to play and grab Georgia Tech and be done. And I think Miami would definitely have Florida State and Boston College, and I think the third one would be like a leftover team.
Yeah, probably so. When you look at it, some of the people that are listening and commenting, Dummy Cannell went from saying Miami won't make a bowl to Miami's the best team in the country. That guy's worse than Jeff. And then he said Jeff loves Louisville. So either way, I think that's pretty funny, but I think it's pretty accurate when you look at it. You got to think these scenarios are going to play out. We're going to see them in real time. But let's dive into this, Taylor. We're going to spend some time looking at this. This Florida State team looking really good. Got to go on the road to Virginia. And I know I heard it. I'm hearing it in your voice. I'm hearing it the way that you were talking about it before we've actually started talking about it. Are you concerned about Virginia?
I'm actually not as concerned as you think. I know that Virginia wants to have that upset-like environment there. It just is a veteran team. They have a veteran quarterback there at Chandler Morris. He's been around for college football for 6 years now. He probably needs to go and get a job somewhere, but, besides the point, this Virginia team is looking for blood. They've only lost to NC State, and their defense is atrocious. They can't stop a nosebleed. But just in terms of worry level, yes, it's on the road. Yes, it's a Friday night. But I just don't know if Florida State fans really have to be that concerned about it.
Not so fast, my friend. Let's look at Virginia. Let's look and see what we've got coming in. We've got Chandler Morris. He's 85 for 120 with 1,050 yards, 8 touchdowns, 1 pick. You got Jamari Taylor running the football, 48 carries, 298 yards, 6 touchdowns. You got Trell Harris catching the ball, 18 receptions, 321 yards, 3 touchdowns. You got to understand, they beat Coastal Carolina 48-7. They beat William Mary 55-16. They beat Stanford 48-20. Now they lost to NC State, but if you look at every single category in the game, they outdid North Carolina State. Virginia is a better team than North Carolina State. They got all the way down to the 12-yard line with 1:04 to go. They were down 35-31, and their quarterback, his only interception for the year, gets thrown into the end zone and ends the game. So realistically, Virginia is one throw, 12 yards away from being undefeated, hosting the Seminoles on a Friday night. That's very scary. I understand where you're coming from. I get it. But you coming off of highs and lows. Who knows if Tommy Castellanos is really healthy or not? Or are we playing the DJ Lagway game now? Who knows if realistically the Florida State Seminoles are looking ahead to not playing, when they get ready for the Miami Hurricanes. Are they looking ahead, or are they going to stumble with this Virginia team? That's the question, Taylor, that I'm asking you.
I will say this. Their top center, Brady Wilson, he's their starter. started multiple games there with the Cavaliers. He is a guy that basically Chandler Morris trusts. All of his fate is into him. This is basically the gel that brings this offense together. If he's not healthy, and he's got this calf injury that he's injured, that he's kind of nursing through right now, they're having to makeshift the offensive line. Daryl Jackson's on the other side, where Tony White even said himself, Florida State's defensive coordinator, said he is the best defensive tackle in the country. If you cannot take advantage of a injured center / guards moving all over the place and being able to wreak a little bit of havoc in that game, I mean, that could be really worrisome. You know, Florida State fans have talked about the defensive line. They played pretty well. They brought a lot of pressure. You know, Chandler Morris has brought kind of energy throughout the escapability type of – he's like a Ben Roethlisberger almost. He's scrambling out of the pocket, throwing it deep. And like you said, only had that one interception at the end of the game there. But overall, though, I mean, if Daryl Jackson can kind of get some pressure up the middle, they don't have to break contain, man, I think Florida State could really dominate this game.
I think when you look at the way that they play offense, I think it's going to be one of those type of games that there's a possibility that this is going to be a shootout. And whenever you have shootouts, it always happens is that the home team has the advantage. And when you look at that game, that's really one of those games because Miami's next week, right? Isn't that the thing? Isn't that when it?
That's it. Mm-hmm.
So, and I believe when we started talking about this, that everybody was like, don't look ahead. And they're teenagers. They're still 18, 19 years old. They're going to look ahead. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to see whether or not Mike Norvell, Gus Malzahn, Tony White, if these guys are realistically going to be able to keep these guys ready. It's already a short week. It's already being on a Friday night, so you're off schedule. You're in a new place. You're at somewhere else. And that's the key. I mean, when you look at it, you got to know that are these guys going to be ready or are they going to be looking ahead to seeing what that Miami game is going to be because Virginia is going to be ready. And the thing is that they're scoring points. And that's really where in college football, a team that scores a lot of points, that's where you can be very scared.
But, I mean, they're the second most inconsistent team in the ACC because Duke is the worst as far as inconsistency goes. William & Mary is trash. The biggest thing for Virginia is going for them right now is the way they killed Coastal Carolina. And I know they lost at NC State. That was on the road. But, I mean, I'm not saying Stanford's trash, but they're not average, right?
No,
right?
They're not.
So we're looking at an inconsistent team. Now, as a 6.5-point favorite for Florida State in this weekend against Virginia, right? And the over-under is, 59.5. So they're saying it's a 33-27 game. No, Florida State's going to win by more than that. Unless there's some type of motivation or turnovers that are, happen out of the ordinary.
Wow.
They will beat that 6.5-point spread.
You think so, Taylor?
I will also say this, too, is the biggest thing I think you're missing a little bit in this whole thing is defense coordinator Tony White. The UCLA job popped open a week and a half ago. And he is actually an alumni at UCLA. He is a 3-year starter at UCLA. He has pretty much probably fielded some offers. They have heard some different things in the media. The media has talked to him about it. The distractions have been there. He's talked about how he was on a phone call with some boosters, and they kind of were wanting him to talk about the UCLA job, and basically he hung up and was saying he wanted to focus on, this upcoming game against, Kent State. And it's a factor of wanting to bypass that and wanting to stay focused, stay, in your own lane. Obviously, he was probably not going to be a coordinator here past 2 years. We've all pretty much expected that. Him and Gus. Maybe Gus goes to be a head coach. Maybe he stays calling offensive plays. But Tony White was that one guy that you thought he's not going to be here past 2 years. His defense is physical. They're aggressive. He wants to be a head coach. He's never been a head coach before. And this is a guy that at UCLA, he wants to bring his own spark. Even though that team is a train wreck right now, their budget's not great, he knows the environment. So, I mean, when you look at that and you're playing a Virginia team that wants to upset you, and you have a defense that may be looking ahead to the Miami game, and he's not really all the way in to focusing on Florida State this week, that could be a little dangerous.
Yeah, that was going to be the next question. I actually had it on my sheet to ask you about Tony White. Has any of that kind of had his mind, elsewhere? But let's just be honest. I mean, really, I can agree with one of our listeners here. That UCLA job, it is not a good job. That is not a job that I would leave an undefeated Florida State to go to in the middle of the season, number one. Number two, I think I would stay around just because of the turnover that's going to happen in the SEC. There's a chance that the Kentucky job will be open. There's a chance the Arkansas job could be open. There's a chance that Beamer leaves and goes to Virginia Tech. There's a chance that there's going to be a Florida job open. I mean, there's all kinds of jobs that are going to be open. Now there's an Oklahoma State job open. There's a lot of jobs that are going to be open, and UCLA, out of all the names that I just named, are on the bottom of the list. I get it. You want to go back to your home. I get it. You want to go back, but you don't want to go back somewhere to your home and lose in the Big Ten, because that's exactly what the next coach is going to do, and exactly the reason is by what you said. The resources are just not there for the football program at UCLA.
And Chip Kelly and Jim Mora Jr.
Yeah, great coaches. Great coaches. I mean, I would say that. I mean,
did nothing there.
Could not even do anything there. And, thankfully for Chip Kelly, he was able to still keep the name of being an offensive, guru, and that being the reason why he was able to get another job. Now, Tony White, he'd be fine. Somebody else would grab him as a defensive coordinator, absolutely. But if he holds on, there's way bigger opportunities out there, and he possibly could be one of those guys that could go to Virginia Tech or wherever. You know what I mean? Don't you agree with that, Taylor, or do you think UCLA is really the spot for him?
Honestly, I think that kind of piques his interest right now. I don't really think he's even really looking at any other team at this point. I think he is so bought in. Now, granted, I don't think they take a chance on him because he's never been a head coach. I mean, you look at Deshaun over there, too, Deshaun Foster. I mean, he was not really a head coach before then either, and they took a chance on him. I mean, are you willing to do that again? Now, granted, you're UCLA. You have to take chances sometimes. I mean, you're in a conference with, Oregon and Ohio State and Penn State and Michigan. You have those teams there. Are you able to fight through that adversity that you have there? I mean, even in your stadium. I mean, look at their stadium every single week. It is like a dead graveyard. It's like going to a Miami game that wasn't Florida State.
Oh, wow.
It's awful.
These player coaches, they're going away. Deion Sanders, Derek Mason was at Vanderbilt, right? We have Vic at Norfolk State.
Deshaun Watson, Deshaun Foster.
Yeah, these player coaches, this whole trend is going away. They need experience, and they need to know what the heck they're doing, and they have to have people behind them and not just their buddies that they played with.
Well, I mean, I'm going to push back a little bit because it is happening, though. It's not going away. It is happening.
They're all losing.
Yeah,
they're all losing their job.
Yeah, but Mike Vick, he just started. This is his first year.
And it's awful.
And I understand. I get it. But, Deion, he's still got his job. I mean, they're still doing it.
Till next year.
Eddie George.
Next year, he'll lose his job.
Eddie George is coaching. I mean,
Is he in high school? Where's he at?
No, I think he's in some low-level college. But
not UAB.
No, he's not. No. Trent Dilfer's at UAB.
Oh, that's right. That's why I was thinking of UAB.
All right, so going to go to the Red 70s phone line. UCLA needs to fire their athletic department first. No, he said their AD first, actually.
Do you know what school is the most in the red as far as the athletic department is in the whole nation? It's Cal Berkeley.
Yeah.
They're bazillion frickin' dollars in the red. It's awful. And they had to pay to get in the ACC.
They'll figure it out. Well, we're going to take our next break, and when we come back, we're going to dive into a little bit more about what's going on, and we're going to get Taylor's opinion on them Florida Gators and DJ Lagway. You're listening to the Sports Blitz at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Call or text in now on the Red 70s studio line. 850-215-6290. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. The Coach James Hale Show.
Here's what I say. You snooze, you lose.
Let's take this phone call. Good morning.
Good morning. Wah, wah, wah. Nobody cares, Coach.
Hey, you saw it. They got robbed.
Weekday morning, 7 to 9. On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Tuesday. Mostly clear tonight with very little wind and temps near 75. Tomorrow morning, we will have mostly sunshine and a wind speed of 2 miles per hour and be hot at 87. Mostly sunny in the afternoon and evening and a high 87. A variety of mostly sunshine and a likelihood of thunderstorms Thursday with a temp of 86. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Your NFL and college football headquarters is Dak Cajun Place. With 27 TVs, you won't miss a play or a game. Score 50-cent wings during live games every Monday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. 50-cent wings and $5 pitchers during live games only at Dak Cajun Place. LSU and Saints fans, wear your team colors and get free Jell-O shots when LSU or the Saints score. Plus brunch on Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 2 with $3 mimosas. Game like a local at Dak Cajun Place.
Looking for dependable civil construction in the Florida Panhandle? CBC Construction has you covered. From land clearing and drainage to roads and underground utilities, CBC delivers high-quality work on time and on budget. Locally owned and operated, CBC is trusted by schools, developers, and municipalities. To learn more, call CBC Construction 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com. That's cbcconstruction.com.
College Football Saturday on ESPN Radio. It's a top 10 showdown in the Big Ten. 6th-ranked Oregon travels to Happy Valley to face number 3 Penn State in the whiteout game.
One of the best atmospheres in all of college football. This is the best atmosphere.
We've played in good environments before. They described it as a good one.
Number 6 Oregon at 3rd-ranked Penn State.
Coverage starts Saturday at 6 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Transmitting from the CBC Construction Studio. ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the new Sports Blitz. Call in with your questions, hot takes, and rants at 850-215-6290. The Sports Talk Monster.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, you can call in, you can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. We've been talking a lot about football, and we've been talking about ACC football. We've got Taylor Devers here from the Chop Chat, Norvell Central. Now, Taylor, you are writing articles for the Chop Chat. What is some of the articles this week that you've put out that maybe some of the listeners can go to and listen to, or actually read them and see what is going on with the ins and outs of the Florida State football program right now?
No doubt. So you can go to chopchat.com, where I have previously written about Lee Corso coming to the Miami-Florida State game. I have talked about, is it worrisome about Chandler Morris, like we had talked about earlier, the Virginia quarterback. Even talked about a couple of different things with Florida State and their ACC schedule. So it's a great thing to kind of look at. It gives you a perspective throughout the day. Eating some lunch, want to look at some articles, there it is. I spend a lot of time doing that, and also on my social media page, I have over 31,000 followers. So you can go check that out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I have it all. So I'm always available talking Florida State football. Even if someone wants to message me on any of those accounts, I'm always willing to talk Florida State football with anybody.
Well, we've been talking Florida State football, and this big game coming up with Virginia. At first, I did not really think it was going to be a big game, but it really does have the opportunity to be one of those games. It's not a Saturday, it's a Friday. It's a night game. It's in Virginia. It's different. The Virginia team feels like they've got something to prove. They let one go against North Carolina State. They had them, but they let them go. And when you look at it, Florida State's really going to have to impose its will on them. It's going to have to do the things that they need to do. The one thing that I'm curious to know is whether or not Tommy Castellanos is 100% healthy.
Yes, Norvell actually talked about this in his media session. And the ACC drops their injury report actually tomorrow. And he discussed that, and he kind of laughed it off and was kind of like, okay, the ACC, and you'll kind of see this tomorrow. But Tommy had actually come out after hobbling and getting limped off the field, and then basically the rain delay stopped, about a 40-minute delay there. They decided not to go back to halftime. They just basically played a regular quarter. After they finished the second quarter, they went straight to the third quarter, and Tommy ran out of the tunnel. And full pads, didn't come back in the game, obviously, because the game was already decided. But it seemed, in all actuality, that he was perfectly fine. It was just kind of a little scare there. Maybe gave some Florida State fans some PTSD from the Jordan Travis injury against North Alabama. But I think Tommy will be completely fine. He's going to be good to go. He's probably going to take a little more precautions running the ball, and I think that could definitely be in play this Friday.
Yeah, that's the biggest concern, because you've got to have that Florida State with that Gus Malzahn offense and the way he plays it and the way he runs it. You've got to have that to be successful. Now, are there any injured players that are injured that are coming back, or is there anybody that's kind of staying, hurt that, may not be a game or maybe a game time decision or is definitely not going to play?
Yeah, so a big one, Chase Lofton, the true freshman tight end. I think he had injured his hamstring. I talked to him this morning. He said that he's going to be out for a long period of time, maybe closer to the back half of the season. Maybe you might see him, but Mike Norvell was very high on him coming into the 2025 season. Was part of that 25 recruiting class and said that he was one of their top targets in all of the recruiting rankings, and that's a big blow for someone that I thought very highly of. He was even playing wide receiver for a little bit for Florida State. And in terms of guys that are coming back, tight end Randy Pittman, his block action went viral for the Alabama game, where he basically put an Alabama defensive end on his back on a block on one of those pivotal runs that they had in the late in the third quarter. You also got a guy like Kevin Wynn. He's a backup nose tackle, true freshman. Mike Norvell absolutely loves him as well. Squirrel White did not play against Kent State. He had a little bit of a glove on. I was actually on the sideline there for pregame and saw him in a glove. Did not play, but he is going to probably be back in this game. And then also LaWayne McCoy, who's another redshirt freshman receiver, played in the game. He had 2 catches for like 30 yards. That'll be another guy to look out for. But Florida State's probably been about as healthy as they possibly can be. So I definitely think they're going to have a lot of depth in this game, and it's encouraging to see so far.
That's good. One of our listeners said that take the over 45-38 Florida State this weekend.
That's a lot of scoring.
That's a lot of scoring. So, I mean, when you look at it, this could be one of those games, though. I mean, a night game, and they're slinging the ball around.
54-38?
45-38.
Oh, 45-38. That's
still a lot.
That's a closer game. That's seven points. Wow.
But, I mean, they've scored 48, 31, 55, 48. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, and I get it. Don't get me wrong. William and Mary, garbage. Stanford, trash. I get it. But I'm just saying, Coastal Carolina, not very good.
Well,
not this year.
Yeah, not this year.
No, we're not talking baseball right now. Get back into football.
No, we're not talking 2 or 3 years ago, because they had Grayton.
Yeah.
Grayton was a quarterback that was like a stud.
Yeah, he did good.
He's gone. He's retired. He's sad because he had that injury.
Yeah.
Well, about 4 injuries, really.
But, yeah, when you look at it, there's a good chance that this game's going to be, a high-scoring game. It could be. I mean, I don't think that's out of the possibilities.
But Virginia getting 38 points on Florida State. Nah, I don't see that. Alabama scored 17.
I understand the first game of the year, but okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't see. No way. No way they're getting 38.
So you said that Squirrel White did not play against Kent State, and you're for sure that he's 100%. That was just precautionary, just to keep him out to get him, some.
He's not 100%. And the biggest thing that goes into as well is when he got picked up from Tennessee. That was one of the bigger concerns that the coaching staff had. And even while the Volunteers didn't even bring him back, because while he did have 800 yards in 23, he didn't really play that much in 24. You're going to probably be lucky if he plays in 7-8 games this year, because his injury history is there and is concerning.
Yeah, and that's really, we talked about that. I remember you talking about that, him coming from Tennessee, and then on Wednesday we have Tennessee Brandon in, and he said the other day, man, I can't even say the name Squirrel White anymore because I miss him so bad, because he liked him, because he's such a good, talented player. But when you look at their schedule, you see that, there's a chance for Florida State, to look ahead and look up to Miami. And that Virginia game is just sitting right there glaring in the face. So, I know that you guys love giving predictions. And so, Taylor, give us your prediction right now. Florida State, Virginia.
I'll tell you this. Virginia is not scoring 38 points. I will guarantee that. I will lock it in stone at this point. I have Florida State 38, Virginia 17.
Ooh, you're close to what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I'm saying 38-21.
Wow.
I just don't think – I think this defense is going to be more motivated. I mean, you looked at Jerry Wilson, also a top corner for Florida State. He's got 3 picks this year already. And James Williams, who is one of their best transfer prospects in the defensive end position, they talked to the media right after the Kent State game. They're like, we're PO'd that our defense allowed that huge 75-yard touchdown to Kent State. It was a blown coverage, basically got out of contain. The quarterback was able to throw it wide open. They were very, very mad at the defensive performance. And you're looking at a 66-10 game, and they were very mad about that. I mean, you're looking at a team that's very motivated. They want to play aggressive. They want to play physical. You saw it in the Alabama game. You saw it in these last 2 cupcake games. They want to be physical. You're seeing Chandler Morris being talked about like the next coming of, a Cam Newton, basically, out there throwing the football. I just don't understand why the hype is there. I understand it's a Friday night game. I know it's going to be a look-ahead spot. But I think Florida State's going to be motivated and finish the mission because of what happened last season. I don't think they want to afford to have that possibility come up again.
There's a good chance that this one could be a nail-biter. And with that being said, I think it's going to be a nail-biter. And I know that I've been talking about these offenses, but I do believe that the defenses will be in this game. So I'm going to say 24-21 Florida State. I think Florida State will pull out the win, but it's possibly going to be a close game, and I could see where Florida State goes out and kicks the field goal to win the game and, let it be that way. And that's the key. When you have a good football team and you have a big game coming up behind, let me just let y'all in on a little secret. So back before Nick Saban realized the schedule, you can't have a game before we play LSU. He always did that in the first couple of years that he came to Titletown. And what would happen is that we would always have somebody get hurt, or they would play a team that would give them a little bit, because we'd always be ready for the LSU game. We'd be looking forward to the LSU game. And so Nick Saban, with his smartness, he decided every year from now on for eternity, before we play LSU, it won't be eternity now, I get it, but before we play LSU, we've got to have a bye week because we want to be fresh and we want to have 2 weeks to look at them Tigers.
I don't think that's the reason. He didn't respect LSU. I'm of course joking, but I will say this much. What weekend is that? That's Halloween. Guess when his birthday is?
I know. I mean, I understand that, but I'm just telling you, that's the smart decision. Every time you have a bye week before your big rival or somebody that you're going to play that's always plays you tough, that's what you need to do.
I will say this is sad because, first Saturday in November is LSU Alabama forever. But you know who we always played before Bama? Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Every year for like 45 years or something crazy like that. And the last 2 years, they messed up our schedule. We played them the earliest and I think the latest that we've ever played them. And it's I don't even like it. I don't like it anymore. I don't like it at all. They're messing with tradition.
The Miami 2 bye weeks. So you have a bye week after Florida to get prepared for Florida State. And then you have another bye week and then you play Louisville. Are you looking ahead to Florida State and Louisville? Is that what we're going for now?
I guess. I mean, that's just crazy. How do you have 2 buys pretty much in the same month?
Yeah, I don't understand that, but I don't think I don't think necessarily that Louisville is who they're worried about, honestly.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I'll tell you one thing.
The Super Bowl.
So the Pitt game is after Miami. Well, Pitt's got a tough game this weekend, and then they got another game after that. I mean, in two games, Pitt might be a totally different team 2 weeks from now than they are right now.
Yeah, that's a true statement. Taylor, let's shift gears a little bit. I know you like to talk about it. What about this Florida Gator team? Now they've come out and said that DJ Lagway is in the walking boot. I know that you told us in the beginning of the season, during his pictures, they were hiding his legs most of the time because you knew there was an injury going on. Do you think this is the same injury, or do you think he's been injured this whole time?
He's been injured this whole time. This team is absolutely made of glass. I have been saying it for months. This team cannot stay healthy. I mean, they can play hard on defense all they want to, but the big nail in the coffin there in the offseason was when Billy Napier didn't hire a play caller.
Yeah.
I mean, simple enough. I mean, this is a team that has no guidance on the offensive side of the ball, and you saw it. You have what did he finish with, 61 yards?
Yeah.
I mean, that is embarrassing. And then on top of it, the week before you have 5 interceptions where it looks like you need to have a sponsor and an ambassadorship for Lens Crafters because you need a new pair of glasses.
Yeah, well, that was the question that we were asked earlier by one of the callers, was the fact that if you were the head coach and your name's Billy Napier, and would you fire your offensive coordinator if your name was Billy Napier? And so, that's the biggest thing. Do you think that realistically Billy Napier keeps his job for the remainder of the season?
I mean, even in the Mike Gundy situation where he got fired, the AD come out and said, you know what, we don't even really want you to finish out the rest of the year because we're looking at a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. We're not looking at the now in terms of the next couple of games because we see, as in this Florida schedule, the big slate that's going to happen. I don't think he makes it to Florida State. And I hate that because I want Mike Norvell to get his revenge off the plant flag kind of thing he did in Tallahassee last year, but I don't think he makes it there. Too gainful for that game.
If you had your pick, if you could just put yourself in the Florida Gator fan base right now, who do you think realistically, give me who you would want, but then give me a realistic person's name that you think would take that job?
I honestly think that they would want to go after Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. But after that, and just the excitement that could possibly bring offensively that you're missing on this team, I really don't know who you could really get to have because, I mean, they've already went through the group of 5 option. You can't really go back there again. Why would you at this point? I mean, when you're looking at other teams, like, are you really wanting to go after an Alex Golish from South Florida, a team that beats you at home? Like, that would be a huge bad look for this team. I just really don't know who you would get in this circumstance. And I know there are going to be coaches lined up to try to go for that job because it is an SEC job. Even though I hate the color orange and I hate drinking Gatorade, I really can tell you that this team is a very solid program to build around. But who would want to go over there to kind of figure it out, and what kind of coach would be able to go in there to succeed because of this high expectation they have?
Well, the name that has kind of been going around and everybody has been saying is the name that you mentioned first, Lane Kiffin. That's been the name that's been floating around. Everybody's talking about it. Lane Kiffin's, boy was wearing a backpack and it had Florida on it. That's one thing that they saw. The other thing that happened over the weekend was the beatdown, the curb stomping that Indiana gave Illinois and Brett Bielema. So now Indiana's coach has also garnered some talk about possibility of bringing that style of play down to the Gators. Now, that would be somebody that possibly could do that, and I would love for him to be there because he's been so dead set against the SEC, and he's been this Big Ten guy from all this time. But wouldn't it be so great if just so happens he would just come in and coach in the SEC?
That would definitely be great. Now, listen, we got some great news on the radio show today. Jeff, Paul had actually said Illinois correctly. The second straight week, we've already got it. We have gotten history in the making here.
Well, with all that being said, we are going to take our next break. You've been listening to the Sports Blitz on 104.3. We know how to pronounce words here.
Reach out and smack someone. Call or text now. 850-215-6290. The Red 17 Studio Line.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Hello, this is Jenna.
Hey, Jenna, did you enter a contest to win tickets to watch the Jags play the Texans in Jacksonville this Sunday?
I did.
Well, guess what?
I guess I won.
You are a winner. You're going to go see the Jaguars.
Yay, that's so exciting. How random.
Have a great time at the game, Jenna, and keep listening for your chance to win tickets to see the Jacksonville Jaguars from 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. CBC Construction is looking for a few good men. At CBC Construction, our greatest strength lies within our talented team. Join us and be a part of a dynamic company that values its people. We offer a tremendous opportunity to create a future for your family and the Florida Panhandle. CBC Construction is now hiring. Call us at 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com to learn more. CBC Construction, be part of a winning team.
Start your fall adventure in a new Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Our SUV family is built for all-in adventures and endless possibilities. Stop by Bill Bird Kia and test drive a new 2025 Kia Soul, Seltos, Sportage, Sorento, or Telluride. You're going to find the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Now offering 0% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento or a new 2025 Kia Sportage. Bill Bird Kia, the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. The road is yours in a new Kia from Bill Bird Kia.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento or 2025 Kia Sportage with 2083 per 1,000 financed in 48 months. Quantities limited, cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 9/30/25.
The big wins feel even bigger, and the moments are still larger than life because your Atlanta Braves are still battling every single night.
Swung on the fly ball, hit well. Back to the wall. This one flies away.
Tonight, you won't want to miss a minute of Atlanta Braves baseball from Truist Park in Atlanta as the Braves face the Washington Nationals.
Braves taking on the Nationals. Pregame 6 o'clock. First pitch 6:15. Your home for the Braves on the Gulf Coast. ESPN Northwest Florida.
If you build it, they will come. We're live from the CBC Construction Studios. This is where heroes are created, legends are born, and dynasties forged. The Sports Talk Master, ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Sports Blitz.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, you can call in. You can text in on the Red 17's phone line, 850-215-6290. We're pumped up. I got LSU Jeff in the house. Bone Crushers doing the ones and the twos. And I've got Taylor Devers from Chop Chat Norvell Central on the phone. We're going to talk about some stuff, but before we do, we've got to definitely give some thanks out to our sponsors, AutoNation Ford in Panama City. They are the spot that you need to go. Their new slogan is ready, set, go, meaning ready for anything, set it up, and let's go. So either way, you come down, see them, they'll get you into the right car, into the right vehicle for the right price. Go see those guys at AutoNation Ford in Panama City. Don't forget, If your vehicle needs some repair, we got just the answer. Recommended Collision Center right there on 15th and Jinx Avenue. Go see those guys. Brandon and the guys will take very good care of your car. They will get it back to showroom pristine. If you need something taken care of on your car, go see those guys. Make sure you tell them that the Sports Blitz sent you, and they will take care of it. Now, guys, we have not had the opportunity to talk about the AP poll that's come out. And Taylor, if you look at it, it looks like the Miami Hurricanes have jumped in to that number 2 spot over the Penn State Nittany Lions and past the LSU Tigers. So when you're looking at Miami, you're saying they're the second best team in the country. Do you believe that's accurate as of today, right now?
No, I don't think they are.
Where would you put them? Where would you put Miami right now?
Not very far behind 2, but I think it could be around maybe the 5 spot. I mean, I think that would seem a little more better for them, because when you're looking at the Notre Dame game, does that Notre Dame win look any better now than what it did before?
Not as
Even
not
at
as
the
sexy.
time that it was. I mean, C.J. Carr's not a very good quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. What do you think about where Florida State is? Because you got Florida State at 8. They're behind Oklahoma, Oregon, Georgia, LSU, Penn State, obviously Miami, and Ohio State.
I mean, that was okay, but I mean, in terms of that, I mean, they were number 7 before. What changed? You know, what was kind of going through the factor of the AP? But what has Florida State done differently? I mean, they won by 56. They won by 66, and then they beat Alabama by 14.
I think it was Oklahoma winning. That's what it was. Oklahoma beating a ranked Auburn team.
I think it's a lot of teams are slipping up. LSU's strength of schedule is taking a pounding, just a total pounding. I wouldn't even put LSU number 6 now, because our pedigree has been just damaged by teams that we haven't even played yet, like Arkansas and South Carolina. And then look at Clemson. I mean, that's our big win. LSU shouldn't even be number 6. And I will stand by that.
You think they should still be in the top 10, but just
top
not
10.
6?
Yeah. No, I mean, look at, what are they, number 4? They don't belong there.
Yeah, number 4.
Georgia and Oregon, way over LSU, big time. They both won the 2 big conferences last year. I mean, there's a lot of craziness, but, I mean, there's teams that are just taking a pounding. I mean, look, Illinois was what, number 9 last week?
9, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, drop them all the way out. That was a pounding. That was killer. I've seen high schools just get pounded like that, and that's ugly. They shouldn't be ranked. That's a travesty right there.
So Illinois should be all the way out of the top 25.
All the way out of the top 25.
Just one game.
Yeah. Yeah,
just getting beat like
63 to 10. No, that wasn't one game. That might as well have been 2 games, because, I mean, just drop them out. I mean, I disrespect you after that.
Well, what about Georgia Tech being at 16, Taylor? Because when you look at Georgia Tech, they're behind a 1-loss Tennessee, and they're right in front of a 1-loss Alabama, but they're also in front of an undefeated Vanderbilt, but also in front of a mediocre Michigan team.
I think it'll all play itself out, honestly. I know that this is Georgia Tech will be fine. I really do think that they have I know the ranking looks strange, but you also have to think about it, too. There was actually an AP voter that I had discussed last week on the Advocate in Baton Rouge, and sure enough, he had come back with another head-scratching poll. He had Alabama at 17, Notre Dame at 13, Auburn at 14 after the loss, and they're all ahead of Florida State, which is weird. I don't understand it. I don't get it. If I could have my own vote at this point, I definitely think Paul and Jeff need to be in the AP voter at this point, because, listen, y'all can't do any worse.
That's bias. That's bias. Either that guy's drunk.
Yeah, that's all it is. It has to be one of the following. So is there any more surprises that you guys see on the AP that realistically should be changed? I mean, obviously we know that there's stuff that needs to be changed, but really, do you think Missouri being undefeated, do you see them being a team that should be ranked that low, or are you just waiting to see this schedule kind of play out before you want to get too excited about the Tigers of Missouri?
Well, it's too late to say that I have Missouri in my playoff prediction in the preseason.
Ooh, baby. Really?
Yes, I did, and it was it looks gross a little bit now, I guess, because their schedule is not the greatest in the world, but yeah, I did have them in my playoffs.
Well, I mean, when you look at them, when you look at Vanderbilt right now, both of those teams have it cooking. They have it going. They're rolling. And, I mean, Alabama's got the loss. Michigan's got the loss, but they're still riding around right there with them. Do we still think that Notre Dame is a 22nd best team in the country?
I think they'll eventually get to that point. I think if they win out, they have a possibility to get in. I don't really know if their schedule would dictate to that as much. I mean, maybe if USC keeps winning, maybe they get that marquee win. Just they don't have a whole lot of opportunities. I wish they played a little more ACC schools. I never thought I would say that in terms of strength of schedule, but in certain regards, because, they do play the Virginias. But Virginia would actually be a decent win for them. So we'll see.
Well, like we like to do sometimes, we're going to do a little bit of trivia here, just a little bit to see if you guys can guess it, and let's see what you think. So we've got the most expensive games, and Jeff's trying to cheat. I'm going to cover it up right now. We've got the most expensive games of the weekend. So because we're gentlemen here in the state of Florida, Taylor, we're going to let you go first. What do you think was the most expensive ticket for the games last week?
Oh, last week.
Oh, last week. That's a tough one.
Well, Miami, Florida had to be in the top 10.
I would think, yeah.
Okay, so boom, Miami, Florida goes number one at $211 for that ticket.
Goodness.
So, Jeff, what other game do you think is the next game that you think would be the highest?
Oh, my God. I'm trying to think of who I mean, some of the games I watched are not going to be in there, like Memphis and Arkansas. I know they're not in the top 10.
Memphis and Arkansas is not on the list. Taylor, what do you think?
I wouldn't say, well, let me just say this in terms of Florida State fans. Florida State, Kent State actually had some higher tickets than expected this past week. So, I mean, So that's in play.
Florida State and Kent State check in at number 7, $129 for the ticket. So, boom, Taylor's got 2, Jeff's got none.
Yeah.
What do you think now, Jeff?
USC, Michigan State.
USC, Michigan State. Unfortunately, they are not on the list, so nobody's paying a lot of money for that game. Taylor, where are you going next with this one?
I guess I would have to go Oklahoma-Auburn, maybe.
Oklahoma-Auburn. Honestly, I thought that would be on the list, but it is not on the list.
Wow.
Shocker. All right, Jeff, you're up.
I mean, what were the big games this last weekend? I remember I picked them. Oh, Illinois, Indiana.
Illinois, Indiana checks in at number 2, $170 for the lowest ticket. So there you go. All right, Taylor, what you got?
Wow. I'm not going to go Georgia Tech Temple. I want to on the CW Network. So I'm going to go to Michigan, Nebraska.
Nebraska's number 4, $141 for that ticket. All right, Jeffrey, what you got?
Oh, my goodness. I have a hard time remembering who SMU played. Was it TCU?
I don't know.
No. I can't remember who BYU played. Arizona State played somebody.
No, Arizona State.
Baylor, right?
Yeah, Arizona State and Baylor. They're not on the list.
They're not on the list.
Nope.
I'm failing at this.
Taylor, what you got, my friend?
I will go Clemson-Syracuse.
Clemson-Syracuse did not make the list. No, sir.
I'm surprised by that. Wow.
Yeah. All right, Jeff.
Duke just beat NC State.
Duke and NC State did not make the list either.
Oh. I don't even know if I want to watch that game just on TV. Utah played who? Texas Tech this weekend?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Is that there?
Yeah, number 6, Texas Tech and Utah, $132. Because of the sake of time, and Jeff's doing really bad, I'm not going to do this anymore. Colorado and Wyoming checks in at number 3, $143. Washington and Washington State clocks in at $140. Texas and Sam Houston State clocks in at $128.
What a ripoff.
Oregon at Oregon State, $110. And the shocker of the night is going to be James Madison University at Liberty being $108.
The proximity, because Harrisonburg is where James Madison is, and all you have to do is go a little bit south and a little bit east, and you're at Liberty, and that's two schools that have moved up from 1AA level, and they've achieved some success.
Yeah, well, when we look at all of the things that we've been talking about, the one thing about it, and Jack Patterson, he's got all of he's got it down. He said Oregon and Oregon State, so he got that one right for sure. When you look at it, we didn't talk too much about it, but we did mention it. And Oklahoma State getting rid of Mike Gundy, it is a big deal, but it's not as a big deal as it would have been a few years back. Oklahoma State, because of their record, because of the decline in the way that the college is, or the football team is, because of not having the Oklahoma and the Texas in the Big 12 anymore, it really did hurt Oklahoma State. It took away from Oklahoma State, and that's really the fall of Oklahoma State. And Mike Gundy being there, has been there for so long and has done good. I think if somebody comes in there with a big splash, it could mean big trouble for all the Big 12. You've been listening to the Sports Blitz. Thank you, Taylor, for being with us. We will see you guys tomorrow. You're listening to the Giant, ESPN 104 Northwest Florida. We'll see you tomorrow, guys.
Weather in the Panhandle never stops. Turn to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast.
Up to the minute weather reports all day long.
A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain.
In-depth storm coverage.
Winter Storm Enzo.
And breaking weather as it happens.
Hurricane Helene.
ESPN.